guys doing today? It's Eros. Today I'm going to be doing something I haven't done in quite a while. I am doing a movie review. This is not being filmed directly after I've seen a movie. I saw the movie a few weeks ago with my friends and I haven't done a review yet, so I thought I'd do a review now. This is a movie review of the movie Cruella. I am going to tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, but mainly my first point is, this is the campiest movie ever. It is camp, it is gay, it is elevated to a style and grace we need to see in cinematography of this day and age. I'm sorry, I have to for a moment, just gasp. Okay, let me explain the camp. Let me explain. Those costumes? No, we'll start at the beginning. Emma Stone's accent is so over the top, but makes so much sense for Cruella. Because Cruella is this eccentric, crazy person. Like, she's meant to be actually insane. Because she wants to murder dogs. Like, only an insane person wants to murder dogs. So the whole accent, the crazy voice is, she's literally insane. She's literally crazy and over the top and eccentric. Anita, darling. And she does that voice so well. For an American, it was very good. Kind of cheesy at times, but that's the point of Cruella de Vil. She's meant to be eccentric, out this world, crazy. So the way Emma Stone did the voice was great. I love the blind casting choices, that there were so many people of color in the cast, because it's set in the 80s in England. And the 80s in England is very different from the 80s in the US. But the problem with setting a movie in those time periods is that people expect the 80s in England to have, like, no people of color. No, there were people of color there, okay? And they had jobs, and they could get married, and all this stuff. Like, it was the 80s, dude, but I love that they did a lot of blind casting, especially with these, you know, classic characters being like, well, what if they were black, or what if they were mixed, or what if they had an afro, what if they're freaking Indian, because guess what, England has a very dense Indian population, and probably did in the 80s, so yeah, I love that they did blind casting with it. Okay. It starts with, like, they start a backstory on Cruella. That's the whole movie, it's a backstory about Cruella, but you also see her childhood. And you see that, you know, she was always unique and always wanted to be a fashion designer and all this stuff. But she got in trouble at school at the time because she wanted to stand out. That was her thing. She wanted to stand out. She wanted people to pay attention to her, and she wanted to be different. She hated being, you know, like everyone else. She hated that there was a school uniform and all these things, which I definitely love. I definitely appreciate it, but I feel like a problem that happened in this movie is we're becoming sympathetic for a person who wants to murder dogs and we're meant to sympathize and feel bad for her because, like, she was cast out and judged as a kid. Girl, welcome to reality. And this was in, you know, the 60s or 70s or whatever. The timeline's confusing. I think she said 60s in the movie was her childhood, and then early 70s. And then she gets older. I don't know how old she's meant to be. The thing is we see her, and I think she's meant to be 13, 14. And then it jumps, I think, 10 years. So she's like 23, 24, which I think makes sense. I think makes sense if you think about it. But, okay, so she gets expelled from the school, technically. So her mom asked to move them away. And she goes to this person she used to work for and says, hey, could you offer me some money? Because I used to work for you and I did a lot for you back in the day, so you owe me money. And then the woman she's asking sends her attack dogs to kill her. And guess what kind of dogs they are? Frickin' Dalmatians. That's the backstory on why Cruella wants to kill Dalmatians, is because her mom was murdered by Dalmatians. That's the whole truth. Whole truth. Whole truth. I'm not gonna go deep into the plot, but that's the first twist. There are multiple twists that carry on. So Cruella, her real name is Estella. Cruella is actually a split personality. So she's actually called Estella, and then she comes up with this character as Cruella. Estella runs away from home. Runs away from this place where her mother was killed, and ends up in London and meets these two homeless boys, and joins them and decides to live with them for the rest of her life. So then 10 years later, I don't know, she's not working, they're all like stealing stuff, whatever. But her friend finds her a job at this fashion store that she's obsessed with. So she goes in there and she's working as a cleaner, right? Then one day, she designs something and she puts it in the front of the store. And the owner of the company walks in and is like, who did that? And they find her. And she goes, come to this address tomorrow morning. So then she ends up working for this incredible fashion designer that she's obsessed with. And then she finds out that's the woman that killed her mom. So that's twist number 2. We find out her boss is the woman that murdered her mom. So she comes up with this character called Cruella, who shows up at this party and has this amazing outfit and looks gorgeous, and they're talking to her. And the whole reason she's talking to her is because she has this necklace that she said belonged to her mom, and now the boss has it. And she's like, I want it back. It was a family heirloom. It's my necklace. So they try and steal it from this vault. But then one of the goons gets caught, but they doesn't. So there's this big fiasco going on, and she gets the necklace. But then it gets swallowed by one of the dogs. That's when she realizes that she's the woman that killed her mom. By the way, she has the same dogs 10 years later. Also, the dogs are CGI'd, but the reason they do CGI Dalmatians is because Dalmatians are the worst dogs to train in the world, and they're also not aggressive dogs. They're known for being like, they're not great to train, but they're not aggressive. Like, they literally just sit there and look pretty half of the time. So, you don't really get a lot of aggressive Dalmatians. So it's kind of hard to find aggressive ones, so they had to CGI the dogs. So she gets home and she finds out this stuff that this woman murdered her mom and now she works for her. So then she tries to become her arch rival, right? And that's when these f***ing outfits come through. I need this movie to get an Oscar for costume design alone, because those outfits are so... I don't even know how to describe them. They're gorgeous, they're unique, they are crazily designed. Whoever come up with those costume designs deserves every award possible. Like, that costume department needs like 15 raises. Okay, so, oh, that was so good. So then they end up eventually able to steal the dog so they can get the necklace back. So the dog has to like do whatever to get the necklace. And then I think they got it back, but they also didn't. They put on this big show because Cruella's become obsessed with trying to be better than her. She doesn't even care about the necklace anymore, but she cares that this woman murdered her mom, and she's trying to get revenge in the best way possible. And revenge for her involves being better than her. So she gets in this fashion show, and she's wearing an outfit with Dalmatian print. So the boss thinks she murdered her dogs. No, she didn't kill the dogs. She just made the outfit look like Dalmatian print to give her the impression that the dogs were dead. But turns out all of this was part of her plan, but not. The boss realizes that Cruella and Estella are same person, I think. Tracks her down and sets their apartment on fire, and Cruella's trapped inside. So everyone thinks she's dead. But then we find out that she was saved by the boss's bodyguard. Because this woman is rich. Like, this boss is rich. So then we find out Estella is the boss's daughter. I shit you not, that was the craziest storyline. Is it turns out the boss that she's been enemies with this entire time is actually her mother. Who came up with that? And also, they deserve a raise. This story writing, like, what? So then there's this party. There's this ball, and she goes to confront her. And she's talking about how you're actually my mom, and she's like, oh shit, of course you are. It's like, of course you're my daughter. But the boss is crazy too, like, she's insane too. So she pretends she's going to hug her, and then she pushes her on a cliff. With everyone watching at this party. So everyone sees this happen. So people think, oh my god, Estella is dead. So she falls off the cliff. Turned out she had a parachute the whole time and didn't die. But she had to kill the persona of Estella and could only be Cruella from now on. So basically she's still insane, like no matter what, she's crazy. And then she ends up owning the Dalmatians because she kept them for so long that she trained them to be able to respond to her. And then the boss, played by Emma Thompson, by the way, so we got a lot of Emmas in this. Emma Stone and then Emma Thompson, gets arrested for, murder, basically. But no one realizes Estella and Cruella are the same person. Because the Cruella character is literally almost, they look the same, obviously, but because she wears so much makeup and wigs and costumes, she looks nothing like Estella. Because Estella's a redhead and all these things, and Cruella's known for her white and black hair. Like, that's what she's known for having. And they keep that in this. Now there are some things they take out. One, she no longer has her iconic cigarette that we all know. She has a cane from now on. The reason they do that is because they can't be pro-smoking. If you look at these old movies from back in the day, 101 Dalmatians, for example, a bunch of people are smoking. Smoking was very normal back then. Because it was like the 50s and 40s. Everyone smoked. Okay? Women smoked. Men smoked. Practically children smoked. Everybody smoked. Regardless of profession, regardless of where you were, you could smoke. But because it's changed so much, these movies can't be pro-smoking anymore, so they can't show really any sort of cigarettes. So she can't have her iconic cigarette holder, which is the most iconic thing about her. But now they changed it to a cane. They changed Anita's last name to Darling, rather than that's just the thing Cruella calls her. Because Cruella would go, Anita, darling. But now they changed it to her last name is Darling, which is really stupid, because keep in mind, that's names of the people of Lady and the Tramp, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know why they did that. Because in this, Anita hasn't met Roger yet. They haven't met yet. But at the end of the movie, there's this end credit scene, which is really, really cute. So one of the female dogs ends up being pregnant and has puppies. So they give one of those puppies to Roger, who worked for the boss, but then she got fired because of Estella. And then Anita is a reporter. So they each get a puppy called Pongo and Perdita, which is very, very cute and really, really nice. And then there's like this little Easter egg where Roger's like, Cruella de Vil, and he's singing. And it's this really cute little Easter egg, and really small, but like really, really cute. And honestly, I mean, I don't remember the movie entirely, but I remembered a lot of it. It's so gay. Without even trying, like, there's a gay character in it, and he's one of those obvious gays where you could just tell. But keep in mind, it was the 80s. But he owns this fashion store that sells, like, their original designs, but he's selling them for a really cheap price. You know, like the drag queen store, basically. Because it's the 80s, you know? And Estella meets him and is like, I want that dress. So then he starts working for her to help design dresses and all this stuff, because they both have an eye for fashion. There's a lot of twists, there's a lot of turns. It's really interesting, really good. I really did like it. I would personally watch it again. It's gonna be on Disney Plus soon, and I'm probably gonna watch it with my mom. I loved it. I'm gonna tell you some things. One, don't bring your kids to see it. It is way too dark for your kids. I would say no kids at this one. No. Cause there's, you know, aggressive dogs and murder and, you know, a lot of things that kids aren't gonna understand. So don't bring your kids. It's not a musical. There is music, and it's 80s music, right? So it's gonna be iconic. But it's not a musical, you know? So there's not singing. The acting is really good, especially Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. Like, they're so good. I mean, Emma Thompson's good in anything she does. Emma Thompson's the best. And Emma Stone just made Cruella even more eccentric and fun. Of course, Glenn Close will always be the only Cruella in my mind, and, like, the best Cruella there is. Because there is no other than Glenn Close. But Emma Stone did a really good job. Compared to what has been in the past. I would say I'd give it like a solid 8. Main things I didn't like, some of the acting was a little bit stale, some of the script was a little bit meh. Especially some of the dialogue felt kind of forced, but it was still good. I still liked it. The fashion is great. The makeup's great. I mean, they at least deserve an Oscar for costume design, because that was freaking crazy how they were able to do that. But yeah, I really like the movie. I recommend you go watch it, or when it becomes available on Disney Plus, watch it on Disney Plus. If you can go to movie theaters where you are, go to movie theater to see it. Just stay safe. I was luckily able to see it in a movie theater with my friends and my boyfriend, so it's a really good film, and I would recommend it. And I believe I'm gonna film some more videos in a bit, so I'll probably be wearing this outfit for a while for a bunch of different videos, so that's gonna be funny. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Comment what movies I should review next. I'm gonna do another movie review, maybe later, like in a couple weeks, of a different movie. This one's actually gonna be a horror movie that I'm gonna be reviewing, which I don't think I've done a horror movie yet, so we'll see. But I hope you guys like this video. Comment, subscribe, Hit the notification bell for a new video every week. I am trying to get videos out as soon as possible for you guys because I do like making videos for all of you. And if you would be so kind and follow the social media links in the description below, Instagram, Tumblr, fandom blog, other blog, TikTok, and Twitter, I would very much appreciate that. I'd appreciate more followers on TikTok and Twitter, to be honest. Twitter is where you guys see a lot of YouTube highlights, so if something happens on my YouTube channel, you'll see it first on Twitter. TikTok, you'll see me making like funny videos or weird videos, whatever. Instagram is a little bit more personal, but you can follow my Tumblr. I don't post a lot, but you'll also see video updates on there. So I will see you guys in the next video, and in the description below there'll be my last movie review and my movie reviews playlist right there, and they'll also be right here for you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and bye bye.